मिलकर भी बातें हुई हैं पर फिर भी अनजान हो, तो आज हम लोग एक दूसरे को जानेंगे. And with this, I'm going to call the first performer, and I'm not going to call that person if you stop clapping. तो बजा दो यार ताली. So welcome on stage, Shaymi. Woohoo! You're Shaymi? Shaymi, हमारे जीजा जी के सामने हमारी इज्जत रखना. बता दो हमारी नारी कैसी होती है.
Hello everyone, I am Shaymi Shah. My poem is called The Class of 2022. When I first entered the class, like any other student, a feeling of anticipation dawned upon me as I thought about the lessons we would be learning. The school was different. We didn't have textbooks to learn from or blackboards on which teachers taught. We would be given assignments to finish by ourselves, and each student would be given different subjects. This was a school that wasn't bound by age, religion, caste, or gender, but the one where everyone was welcome. And voluntarily or involuntarily, attending the school was mandatory. My first month's assignment was to use any medium I liked to express what living life to the fullest felt like. After several failed attempts to paint it, I realized that life is a collage of moments, high and low, not a painting made with gentle strokes. After evaluating my performance, I was told to move on to the next level. A 2-month-long workshop during which I would play several different roles of a researcher, a designer, a social media manager, a photographer, and a writer. I enjoyed playing a few roles and failed miserably at some. That didn't stop me from trying to get better at what I was doing. But this had become very stressful for me. It had begun affecting my mind and my body. I had nausea all day long and endless sleepless nights, constantly battling the anxiety of doing everything right. I never thought that doing something you love could also lead you to places so dark that you can't find a way out on your own. One day, my teacher told me something which was like epiphany. You may be able to show your strength in the light, but you need darkness to help you find where it really lies. I realized it was okay to ask for help and support and not do everything on my own. Next assignment was more flexible. Some days I would be wound up in my apartment working all day long, and some days I would go out into the city to be in the company of others like me. You see, people, conversations, and being in nature is what fueled my creativity. It may seem like many situations we face in life are out of our control, but I realize it's up to us to decide what works for us and what doesn't. I was thrilled when I got selected for a class about gaining self confidence, but it also scared the hell out of me. I'd be given several opportunities, but it was up to me to make the most out of it. And guess what? I did. I did learn to take chances. What started with being comfortable to see myself in front of a camera or a mirror turned to reciting poems on stage and giving a birthday speech for my father in front of 200 people. It obviously wasn't that easy. I was paranoid and anxious before each performance, but with each instance, I realized it was always the first step in the journey towards your growth that takes the most courage and effort. As a prize for my performance, my teacher made sure that some of the things I manifested became a reality. But I also learned that not everything you desire comes that easily. I missed many parties with my friends and events that I could not attend. I got sick at a time when I couldn't afford to waste it at all. But when I looked back at those days, I realized that it made so much sense to be where I had been in those moments. The last few months were about reflecting on the choices we made. Our question papers weren't going to be the same. I was asked to write an essay on what it would feel to prioritize myself over others. I was extremely overwhelmed when I wrote it, but soon the feeling bore off when I read my answer again. I swear I had no idea it could feel so liberating to learn the ultimate art of prioritizing. I also had to write about something I learned from nature and how it helped me in my life. And I remembered how a flower bird taught me that sometimes it's more essential to rest, be comfortable with who you are, instead of rushing to bloom to look your best. The class of 2022 taught me many things, but most importantly, it taught me how time passed by doesn't come back easily. So here's something for you to think about. If time was a currency, would you still spend it so carelessly? Thank you.